Hello everyone, it's Eliza McNamara here to talk to you today about true success. So you have true success and you have superficial success. You have success that comes from within you, that makes you feel full, that makes you feel whole, that makes you feel good within yourself. And then you have success that is hollow and empty and just makes you feel like, what was the point? And I think this is a trap a lot of us fall into. We end up rebelling against what we truly want to achieve because we feel like other people have expectations of us that we're not meeting. And because these people have these expectations of us that we feel we're not meeting, instead of stepping up and moving towards the outcomes that we truly want in our life, if we're caught up in rebellion, this goes back to teenage years, we can actually end up sabotaging our own success because there's this little kid inside of us, and the little kid inside is saying, no, I don't want to do this, I want to do what I want to do, and I'm going to do things because I want to do them. So basically the point I'm trying to get at is, unless you are achieving something and being driven by the need to achieve it because it's something which you want, whether you want it or not is irrelevant, unless the drive is coming from the fact that you want it, you're not going to be able to move congruently forwards, because you're going to have that little child inside of you. It's going to be saying, well, actually no, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And conformity is something which runs a lot of people's lives, and it leads a lot of people into dead-end jobs, into unhappy marriages, into all sorts of situations they would rather not be in. And I think that's incredibly sad and incredibly unnecessary, because at the end of the day, if you're being true to yourself, and if you actually do things because you want to do them, you'll be happy and you'll be a positive influence and you'll be nice to be around. It's always nice to be around somebody who is true to themselves, and true to those around them. It's lovely to be around that kind of person because they just have this genuineness about them. They have this spark. They're like a diamond, because so few people are like that. And I think that's so sad, that so few of us are really, genuinely true to ourselves in every single area of our lives. And success is about who you become. Success is about the person that you become at the end of achieving your goal. So, you put in all this work, you put in all this effort, you put in all the blood and the sweat and the tears because you want to produce a result. But it's putting in the blood and the sweat and the tears that enables you to become the kind of person that can appreciate the end result. Because if you're given something on a silver platter, you don't appreciate it. Success is not about inheritance. Success is not about, like the royal family. There was the royal wedding and everyone was all excited about it. And I think it's beautiful and I think it's such a wonderful thing. But it also reminded me that true wealth is not about who you're connected to. It's not about what car you drive. It's not about what other people think of you as you walk down the street. True wealth is about you feeling full within yourself, about you being happy within yourself, because no matter how much you achieve, unless you are being driven by the need to outdo yourself instead of competing with others, you're going to feel empty. And emptiness is not success. If you feel empty, then what was the point? And even if you're achieving something which you want to achieve, even if you're achieving something which you are passionate about and which you love, if you're driven by the need to prove somebody wrong, or you're driven by the need to make somebody see you as successful, whether that person is your mother or your brother or your sister or your lover or whoever, the success is not going to mean anything, because success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And the reason for this is you're always listening to your heart and you're always going to be adjusting. And the end product of what you truly wanted to achieve could be far grander than what you truly had in mind at the beginning. But the only way you ever get to that is by allowing yourself to be driven by your desire to achieve success. And you could have the exact same desire that other people you're trying to prove yourself to have for you. It doesn't matter. The drive still has to come from you. It is still possible to want the same thing that somebody else wants for you and be driven by the wrong thing, be driven by your need for approval. And there's this saying, it's those that matter won't mind, and those that mind don't matter. Because if somebody minds, if somebody is judging you, that person is automatically unimportant. Because if somebody is truly happy within themselves, they don't need to judge others. They don't need to go around judging other people and talking about what everyone else is doing wrong, because they're happy within themselves. If you're happy within yourself, then why do you need to sit there and judge what other people are doing wrong or right? It's a distraction, and it's a huge distraction for people who are not happy within themselves. They have a look at what other people are doing wrong or right, and they focus on that, and they zone in on it, and they obsess about what other people are doing wrong or right, and they sometimes even attract people who they feel are hopeless or who they can obsess over. So they have somebody to obsess over, and obsess over someone who they feel isn't doing this right or isn't doing that right, to distract themselves from what they feel they should be doing with their own life. And really, what a gutless way to live. And okay, I'm judging by saying that, but it's hard to describe that whole process without actually describing the judgment that goes with it. And this is another thing. When you're judging yourself, that is the source of everything, because you treat others how you treat yourself. So if you are very judgmental of yourself, if you judge yourself, if you are hard on yourself, it can be a good thing to a point, to an extent, but then you have to ask yourself, am I judging others? Am I extending the way that I treat myself out to other people? Because a lot of people, they might judge themselves, but they wouldn't treat their worst enemy the way they treat themselves. So obviously there's something there which needs to be healed, which needs to be fixed. But if you cannot judge yourself and not judge others, then that is true success. Because when you're really successful, you don't need to complain. Success is about not complaining. You know, when you're successful, you're grateful. And if you're grateful, you don't need to complain. You don't need to fixate on something you're not happy with, because you're grateful for what you have. And isn't it funny that by being grateful, we attract more into our life? You know, the law of attraction, a lot of people don't actually believe in it, but the law of attraction is basically what you're grateful for expands. That's basically what the law of attraction is. So whatever it is that you are expressing gratitude for, you will get more of. Like if somebody does something for you and you make it clear that you appreciate that thing, they do it more because they like to feel appreciated. Everybody likes to feel appreciated. So the best place to start with all of this is to appreciate yourself and appreciate the things that you do to achieve whatever it is that you're working towards. And if you have a slip up or you have something you think, oh my goodness, you know, oh, I could have done more today, I could have been more productive, instead of being hard on yourself, you focus on what you're going to do right the next day. Then you'll be far more motivated to produce results and remain focused. Oh my god, 9 minutes. Okay, that was much better. That was much, much better. Actually, I think I actually got to the bottom of it. And how hard it was for me to record this video was a reminder for me of how much I've been caught up in seeking approval from others, in worrying about what other people think. And when you stop worrying, when you stop caring about what other people think, a funny thing happens. Suddenly, oh wow, who is that person? oh, that person's so cool, and they start talking about you in a positive manner, because there's nothing more attractive than a person who doesn't care about what other people think, and not in a rebellious way. This is the key, right? You don't not worry about what other people think in a rebellious way. You don't worry about what other people think because you're happy within yourself and you have no need to seek approval from anybody. So, if you make an effort with something, whether it's your job or whether it's your appearance or whatever, if you make an effort with it, it's because you feel like it, not because you're waiting to see what so-and-so is going to say, or because you want people to stare at you when you're walking down the street. It's because you yourself feel like doing it, because it makes you feel good. Because, let's face it, it does make you feel good if you achieve something, if you make loads of money because you've achieved a dream, or if you look nice, or you're fit and you're healthy, or whatever, right? All of these things, they can be quite egotistical at times. But the way to stop it from being egotistical and to make it come from here, from your heart, is by making sure that you're driven by your need to prove yourself to yourself. And it's very easy to see if you're being driven by your need to prove yourself to yourself. You just look at how you interact with other people. If you interact with people in a way that's not self-serving, or you interact with other people in a way that's not completely genuine, or you interact with other people in a way that consumes too much of the conversation with phrases that describe how fantastic your life is or how much you're achieving, then you know that you're being driven by the wrong thing. Like, for instance, when you talk to somebody, do you feel like you've got to talk about yourself and how great you are, or do you focus on them and what they're achieving and how amazing their life is? Because a lot of people get into these conversations and someone will be like, oh, well, you know what? Well, I bought this car and it goes whatever miles per hour it goes, and it's got this feature and it's got that feature, and the other person will go, well, actually mine's got this and mine's got that and mine's got that, and they start competing with each other to see who can have more on a materialistic level. And it's great to have material things, but not because you want to outdo somebody else, because you want it, because it's something that you want, not because you want to impress somebody or anybody, because you yourself want it, because you've decided that's something which is going to make your life more enriched, which is going to make your life more fun, or whatever it is, it's going to give you more enjoyment. And it's really important to stay in touch with that and to remember that, and to really ask ourselves, what am I being driven by right now? Because even if you're achieving something which you want to achieve and the other person you're trying to prove yourself to wants you to achieve, you can still get caught up in a trap that will leave you feeling empty, because it's not about proving yourself, it's about being yourself. And when you focus on being yourself, you prove yourself naturally. It's like when somebody is proud of who they are and they're confident in who they are, and they don't care about what other people think, they achieve more, because that energy that was going into worrying about what other people were thinking is then freed up to be put into their passion, their dream, their thing that they love to do. And that is the secret of success. Freeing up that energy that can get caught up in ego or judgment, or what does this person think of me, what does that person think of me, who cares? It doesn't matter, because the bottom line is, if you follow your heart, then you're going to be happy. And obviously you've got to make sure that your dream is a dream that is going to provide value for society. So, you might have 10 dreams, you might have 20 dreams, you might have 50 dreams. You've got to pick something and pursue it in a way that's going to enable you to provide value for others, so you can be rewarded as you're doing something that you love. I think that's where most people trip up. And that can be addressed just by being consciously aware of this fact. It's that simple. It's so simple. And I'm so glad I recorded this video, because it really illustrated for me how important it was for me to get over my need for approval and just get into doing what I love because I want to. Not because I want to impress my mum or my dad or my neighbours or whoever, because I want to. And that is true power, because true power comes from adding value to yourself by being yourself, by allowing your passion and your talents to come out and not suppressing them because you feel you should do this or you should do that because society or your mom or your dad or whoever has told you this is how you should be living your life. You should live your life the way you want to live your life, and as long as you're not hurting anyone, then it's fine. And let's face it, most people, when they pursue their dream, when they do what they love, they actually end up helping people anyway, because that's our true nature. Our true nature is to be helpful and to help each other and to contribute to the world we live in a positive way. That is the way we are when we get back to who we are, and we get out of the judgment, get out of the blame, and get out of the ego and all of that stuff. And some people need to meditate a lot to get rid of all of that stuff. Some people need to move away from certain people or stop talking to certain people to get out of that space. But ultimately, it all starts and ends with a choice to only allow the things that you truly want in your life, and to be honest with yourself. Because when you're honest with yourself, things flow. And everything just takes on this energy of ease and flow. And you still have challenges, you still have the odd moment or the odd day or whatever, well, maybe not a whole day, but the odd moment where you feel like, oh my god, that was challenging. But that is so much better than following a path that is not your own. Anything is better than following a path that is not your own. But also getting out of rebellion as well. If you can follow a path that is your own and then also get out of rebellion, that is true freedom. And that is what I wish for every single human being on this planet.